just because I'm black, don't assume that I want watermelon.
Feel very aware of not being Asian enough.
It's a fear of someone who's different than you.
I don't know what it's like to be a black person who's just driving down the street and they get pulled over for no reason. That is such a heavy burden.
I don't mind that people notice that I'm different. I just wish that I wouldn't be put in a box because of it.
I remember coming home one day and asking my mom, what's a wetback? I didn't know what that was because I was, I think, like 8 years old.
They're so fixed on what's on the outside, I feel like they won't bother to get to know what's on the inside.
I did grow up in a predominantly white neighborhood. The prejudice that I did experience a lot was amongst other black peers and saying things like, oh, you think you're better than us, rejecting me.
I grew up in a very, very poor area. I was working at a home with minority children, and I explained to them that I came from the same environment, and they basically told me they couldn't relate to me because I was white.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, if you can't relate to me, then you are completely missing the point.
I was pulling up to valet. I was giving like my key, and the attendant's like, "Oh, are you here to pick up someone?" And thinking I was the Uber driver.
Do you believe in white privilege?
I believe that it happens, but I'll never know, like, did I get X job because I was white? But I can just assume right now that, like, my life's been easier because I'm a straight white male.
When I was going to school, my brother and I were 2 out of 4 black kids at the school, but we're mixed. And then you throw in having a Polish mother. As I get older, I think, oh, it'll change, and it really hasn't. It just shows its head in other ways.
People would ask me like, oh, why do you act black? Or why do you act white? You're black or you're white. And it was just like a constant cycle of back and forth, and I didn't know who I wanted to identify with.
I think racism really does start in somebody's home. It has to do with how their parents were raised and the environment that they come from.
I was at a gas station, and out of nowhere, some guy pulls up and just says, go back to where you came from, like, and coming closer to me, and I'm just like, what are you talking about?
I like asking people, why do you feel that way? And I think that's the only way for us to solve that issue, is for all of us to have an open conversation.
If you sit down and really think about it, there's only one race, which is the human race. And then from there's just different colors.